Today we are talking Kiss Destroyer, radio station compilations, fantastic Negrito, and oh so much more. Coming up on Friday Night Vinyl. Hi, my name is Frank. It's Friday. That means time to kick back, relax, and talk music. Let's kick things off with Record of the Week. Record of the Week is none other than Western Canada's own Kick-Axe with their 1984 debut album, Vices. Now, this came out on the Pasha label, and those of you around at the time will remember Pasha was the same label that Quiet Riot was on, and it was owned by Spencer Proffer. Proffer had a huge breakthrough the year before this album came out with Quiet Riot's Metal Health. It set all sorts of sales records, and he was looking for the next Quiet Riot. Well, he found Kick-Axe. As I said, these guys are from Western Canada, and this is probably in my top 10 favorite hard rock albums of the mid-'80s. Certainly it's one of my favorite Canadian hard rock albums of the era. These guys were known for a couple things. One, they toured relentlessly. They were from a city called Regina in the province of Saskatchewan, but they toured all over the West nonstop. They're also known for their background vocals, for their harmonies. They are outstanding singers. There's this great story when they were signed to Pasha, and they had to go to Los Angeles to record this record. Well, they were worried about the quality of American beer, so they loaded up their van with a bunch of Canadian beer and drove across the border to Los Angeles to record this album just because they were unsure the supply of American beer and whether it was up to their standards. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. The other thing is, Kick-Axe actually landed the opening slot on Judas Priest's Defenders of the Faith tour with this album. What happened is I think Priest had Great White opening for him. They were touring through Canada, and when they were playing in Calgary, Rob had heard of Kick-Axe, and he stopped at a club in Calgary and saw them, and I guess he was just blown away, and he approached them about opening up for Priest on the Defenders tour throughout the rest of North America. So of course they jumped on the opportunity. 2 nights later, Priest was playing in my hometown of Winnipeg, and after that show, Kick-Axe also happened to be in town that night. Here, Rob Halford went to check them out after the show, and he brought a contract, and they signed it, and that was at the Black Knight pub or nightclub, which used to be here in Winnipeg, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, as I said, this is a fantastic slice of melodic. In the 80s, this was called heavy metal. Now it would be hard rock, but it was a magnificent slice of melodic 1980s hard rock. Outstanding tracks on here. There are too many to name. My favorite has to be Heavy Metal Shuffle. that opening is just fantastic. The single was, of course, On the Road to Rock. The video was hilarious. Anyway, if any of that appeals to you, I highly recommend that you check out Kick-Axe Vices. This has also been remastered and re-released on compact disc. And it's also all on the streaming services if you do want to check it out. From Canada, Kick-Axe Vices. And the dog is barking up a storm upstairs. Hold on. All right, I want to talk about radio compilations. By that, I mean these albums. I showed these to you a month ago or so. Eric in Pennsylvania sent this back to me, and these were compilation homegrown albums put on by a station out in the Baltimore area called 98 Rock. So it was quite common in the 70s and the 80s and maybe even into the 90s for radio stations to have these homegrown albums where they were put out tapes or CDs or records full of songs by local bands that also often have competitions for bands to be on these records, battle the bands and whatnot. And that's what these are. He sent me a stack of them, and I have listened to them all now. These are from, the mid-'80s, but it was such a great time, even in the 90s when I started playing in bands. It was just such an exciting time where on the weekends, people every weekend would actually go out of their way to hit the local nightclubs to check out live bands. And on the other hand, everyone seemed to be in a band. Like back in the day, all my friends were in bands, and my band would play all these nightclubs all the time. And as I said, people would actually come out and support you and support these bands. And I miss those days because it was just a lot of fun. Anyway, these albums were really interesting. It was a real mixed bag of, this is a rock station, but it kind of went from like 1980s pop rock to hard rock. One interesting track on here was actually by, where is it on here? Is by Wrathchild, and Wrathchild went on to become Wrathchild America. They did have some success in the 80s and the early 90s, and the drummer for Wrathchild, and the credits here, is Shannon Larkin, and Shannon is now the drummer in Godsmack, so he's still around, and from humble beginnings, right? From this compilation album to Godsmack today. The Wrathchild song on here was called, what was it called? It's called Danger Us. Danger than US. Kind of cheesy. But it's funny because Kiss had a similar song on Sonic Boom with the chorus being Danger You, Danger Me, Danger Us. Pretty horrible. But it sounds like it might have been influenced by the Wrathchild song on here. Anyway, very cool. Thanks again, Eric, for sending these. It was a blast. It was a journey in time through these time capsule records. Cheers, man. Before I get to Kiss, I want to talk about an artist I've been listening to a lot lately, and I've talked about him before. That is fantastic Negrito. He is from the San Diego, California, no, from Oakland, California area. Anyway, this here is his 2018 album called Please Don't Be Dead. It's sort of a crossover of funk, rock, hip hop, soul, and blues. This album is more rock and I absolutely love it, but lately I've been listening a lot to his latest release from 2020 called Have You Lost Your Mind Yet? His sound has evolved a bit on this latest release, where it's maybe a little less rock and maybe a little more soul and hip hop, but he still has that those rock roots, those blues roots. And at first the new album was kind of unsure of, because I said that the sound changed. It was a little more slick, it was a little more poppy, but it's really grown on me and I absolutely love it. So if you're looking for something a little bit different to listen to, I highly recommend Have You Lost Your Mind Yet by fantastic Negrito. This is something I will definitely be picking up on vinyl soon. Okay, next, Kiss. I don't know what it is with me, but last I counted, I now own 9 copies of Kiss Destroyer. Do you ever do this? You just keep buying different versions of an album, and maybe I'm a sucker, or maybe Kiss is really good at marketing, but I'll show you some of these versions I bought lately. The new one being, of course, the 45th anniversary of Kiss Destroyer. I did not get the Super Deluxe box set. I didn't feel that was worth it for me, but I did get the 2-record version. It's kind of funny. It's a 45th anniversary, so you know there's going to be a 50th one coming up in 5 years as well. And what's crazy, I own so many copies of this record, but I don't particularly love it. For me, it's not my favorite Kiss record. I don't think it's even in my top 10 favorite Kiss records. I mean, it was Bob Ezrin produced. To me, Kiss lost a bit of their essence on that record. They became too slick. Ace was really buried on the album, and to me, it's just not quintessential Kiss. Anyway, I got the cassette back in the day, the Priceless Collection. I got the CD. I got this, I don't know, like 25 years ago. I got the remastered CD. I haven't even opened this one yet. It says $5 on it. I think I bought this several years ago when Target here in Canada, when Target Canada was going bankrupt and they were clearing out all their stuff. I think I bought that then. I have an old Canadian pressing of this on this Casablanca label. You'll recognize that with the gatefold. I got another Canadian old Kiss one. I got a German one. It was funny. This guy traded for me. I don't know why. He went to Germany. He bought some Kiss albums with the German logo, and he traded them to me for some CDs. Anyway, I wasn't going to say no to that. Of course, I got Kiss Destroyer Resurrected. This was released on the 35th anniversary of this album. It was remixed by Bob Ezrin, which brings us to the latest one. This is the 45th anniversary of Kiss Destroyer and the gatefold. I like this, if you can see that. Sorry about the glare. I've always liked this motorcycle shot of Kiss. And this came with the booklet, which I haven't had a chance to read yet, but it's pretty cool. It's a nice essay. And this was written by Ken Sharp, who is quite a good rock journalist. And I'm pretty happy with the book. People have asked me whether the actual album is worth the price because it's not cheap, and I'm not convinced yet. I'll talk more about that in a second. The inners are cool. So this is a 2 LP version. Sides 1 and 2 are the original album remastered. Side 3 is Paul Stanley demos. Side 3 also contains some Gene Simmons demos, and side 4 is some live rarities. So in terms of sound quality, the first album, the actual Destroyer record, I did back-to-back comparisons with my other pressings, and I gotta tell you, the original 1976 pressing on Casablanca kicks this version's butt. And that's not unexpected, right? That was the all analog. The sound stage just sounds bigger. There's more bottom end to it, and I don't think you can really compete with that with the modern day technology used to produce these modern day reissues. From what I understand, the quintessential modern day reissue of Kiss Destroyer is the 2014 reissue. I don't have that, so I can't comment on it. Anyway, back to my original question: is this album worth it? It probably wasn't worth the 35 or 40 bucks I paid for it. As I said, the original version sounds way better. And in terms of the bonus material, I mean, personally, I don't need demos on vinyl. I listen to records for the sound quality and just for that immersive experience. But with demos, the sound quality is not very good. I'd be happy to have those on compact disc or even just stream them on YouTube. And the demos on here are ones, I'm pretty sure we've heard most of these before. Some say previously unreleased, so I'm not sure. It says Rock and Rolls Royce by Gene Simmons is previously unreleased. I'm sure I've heard that before. It's also got Paul's demos for God of Thunder and for Detroit Rock City. And all I gotta say is thank goodness for Bob Ezrin, because he saved this record. You listen to God of Thunder, it was nothing like what it became, nor was Detroit Rock City. So Bob Ezrin, the producer, obviously worked very closely with Kiss to improve those songs. And the live rarities, or just the rarities, I guess it's called. There's an acoustic mix of Beth. Like, Beth is a track I always skip. It's got the mono mix of Shout It Out Loud, I Don't Care. It's got King of the Nighttime World, a live rehearsal instrumental. The sound quality is pretty bad on those ones. So overall, is this worth the money? No. Is it packaged well? Yes. The booklet's nice. The inserts are nice. It is very nicely put together. This is really good for the hardcore fan or maybe someone who doesn't have a nice pressing of Kiss Destroyer. It's worth picking up. But if you're like me and you already own 9 copies of this, I don't know if it was worth it. Personally, I'm kind of done buying Kiss stuff for a while. I think they've really dropped the ball on a lot of their reissues and a lot of their deluxe reissues. Like, they could have done what Black Sabbath did, make a nice box set with the album, maybe some remixes, some live stuff. I mean, the stuff they've put out in terms of reissues to me has seemed very piecemeal. It could be as a result, maybe it's due to the fact that a lot of the ex-members don't get along and they can't work out contractually how to do that. But to me, a lot of the Kiss reissues since the 2014 ones have been disappointing. But that is my take. What do you think, Kiss fans? Let me know in the comments below. All right, 33ers, thank you for watching. That is today's Friday update. If you dug this episode, I would appreciate a quick thumbs up. I hope you have a good couple of days. I'll be back on Sunday. Until then, keep on spinning.